Madison, wake mommy up.
Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the Camerican Dream. It's such an honor for me to be here with a legendary leader, someone that if you don't know him yet, you're definitely going to discover him and you want to stick with him. Today at the Camerican Dream Podcast, I have the privilege to interview the one and the only Dr. Madison Ngafeeson. And for those of you who might not know who is Dr. Madison Ngafeeson, permit me to give you a brief bio of him. Dr. Madison Ngafeeson is the president and the founder of Lead Missions International. He is equally a Maxwell certified speaker, executive trainer, leadership consultant, author, and professor of business analytics at Palm Beach Atlantic University. He is the owner of Superior Lead, LLC, a leadership development organization that emphasizes values-based leadership. In the past 9 years, Dr. Ngafeeson has trained over 35,000 leaders from over 55 countries of the world through his organization. Dr. Ngafeeson was named the overall winner of the 2023 prestigious Leadership Culture Award by the Maxwell Leadership Organization out of 54,000 plus coaches and speakers for his leadership. He is also a recipient of the 2022 Individual Innovation Award from the Northern Michigan University and the 2023 Distinguished Alumni Award for the PhD in Information System from the University of Texas, RGV. Most recently, Dr. Ngafeeson received the 2024 Global 100 Leading Black Professionals Award by the ICABA World Network. Dr. Ngafeeson's latest book, The Day Before Tomorrow, How to Make Today Count, has been read around the world. Currently available in English, French, and German languages, and is being used in masterminds, courses to prepare career professionals to lead intentional lives. Madison believes that personal leadership is the key to leading successful life. Dr. Madison holds a PhD in Information System from the University of Texas, RGV, Texas, a master's degree in Information System from the Southern University of New Orleans in Louisiana, and a business analytics certificate from the Harvard Business School at Harvard University. Did you hear that? Friend, join me as we welcome the one and only Dr. Madison Ngafeeson. Welcome to the Camerican Dream Podcast, Dr. Madison.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here, and thank you for all of the great work that you are doing. And I'm happy to contribute a little bit that I can this day.
Awesome. You know, we started this conversation with the podcast quite some time, and you had a very busy schedule. And I'm so excited that finally you were able to create time to receive me and for this conversation. And I feel so honored and privileged to be interviewing you in this particular podcast. And so to the people listening to us right now and those who are going to listen to us after this podcast, sir, what are the three things you expect our listeners to actually take home when we are done with this conversation so that they should have an idea of what we're talking about? I know that the topic is self-leadership. So what are the three things you expect everybody who listens throughout this conversation should be able to go home with it?
Well, my expectation is that they will understand that self-leadership is the foundation of all the different forms of leadership that we can have. And I would say that secondly, that self-leadership is probably the most important thing that they can ever do in their lives, because you have to take responsibility for your own very life.
Mm.
And but then thirdly, that self-leadership can actually grow from just that personal leadership into something bigger and better, where you impact an entire world. But it starts with you.
I love that. So, Dr. Madison Ngafeeson, take us back to um, when you're growing up. What was the moment in your life that leadership was very scary and you wanted to refuse it, but because of the circumstances, you forced yourself to take leadership?
Well, for me, when I really think leadership, I think the significant part that when I really knew that I needed, number one, to be a good leader and to lead others, was when I transitioned into nonprofit.
Oh.
I started my life, in the healthcare sector. I
Mm.
worked in healthcare after university for about 5 years.
Mm.
And then after healthcare, I transitioned into nonprofits. I led an organization, a nonprofit organization in Cameroon called Cameroon Youth for Jesus.
Oh.
And so it was during that time that I really encountered what leadership is all about.
Okay.
I was national coordinator, and I had just taken over from a very charismatic, very able leader. And so when I inherited the position of being national coordinator, no sooner did I inherit it, then I noticed that leadership is very different from doing the activities that you were called to do.
Mm.
So, because I think I was a great manager, so I knew how to do all of the activities of the organization, but I did not know how to really lead the people. Now, let me explain what that means.
Mm.
So, every time I made a decision, for instance, my the people in the organization will call the former leader and ask them whether that decision is the right decision to make. And then when the leader says yes or no, then they will know how to answer me. So I noticed that even though I had the position, I did not have the influence. And leadership is influence. So I knew from then that I needed to do something that will transform my leadership. And that's when I came across my very first leadership book that I ever read by John C. Maxwell, was entitled Developing the Leader Within You. That book helped to save me and my leadership, not to run them aground. So that is really where that call to leadership and that sense of desiring to become the leader that I should be began. That's where my journey began. And it actually was in the year 2000.
Oh, wow. 2000.
Yes.
When I was barely 11 years. Oh, that's really exciting. When you listen to somebody like John C. Maxwell, Pastor Craig Groeschen, and particularly Pastor Craig, he says at the start of his podcast and at the end of his podcast that everybody gets better when the leader is better. Sir, what is the needs for leadership to be good in what they do, in the way they lead the people to the overall good of the organization and the countries they are leading?
Well, we can only lead people to the extent we ourselves have been led. A good leader leads the people where they have been. And if they have been in a good place, they will lead the people to a good place. If they have never been a good place, leadership wise, they will lead the people to not so good place that they have been. I think it was Robin Sharma who said that a leader is one who knows the way, who shows the way, and who goes the way. When you have known the way, when you have showed the way, and when you have gone the way, you become qualified, I believe, to show other people, to lead other people to the experience that you have had. So an organization, a family, a unit can only be as good as the leader gets. So if the leader is a 5, they cannot expect the organization. Okay, I mean, when I say 5, I mean 5 on 10,
5 on
for
10.
Instance. If a leader is a 5 on 10, don't expect the organization to be a 6 on 10, because the leader is the lead on the organization. So as goes the leader, so goes the organization.
That's so impressive, and that can tell us why some organizations are stagnant, some are plateaued, and some are just struggling. That everything rises and falls in leadership, like John C. Maxwell used to say. I love that. So, what are the qualities that we can be looking for in a self leader? What makes a great self leader?
I mean, so leadership is influence. So, like John Maxwell puts it, in the simple terms, it doesn't mean that it's only about influence, but majority leader is a leader is about influence. Leadership is the ability to accumulate followers for yourself. Leadership is the ability to impact others with a vision so that they can move from where they are to where the possibilities are. But in order to do that, in order to be influential, then you have to be able to lead yourself. You have to be able to influence yourself. So let me put it this way. If you cannot get up in the morning and tell yourself what to do and then do it, if you cannot get up in the morning and say, this is the goal for the day, this is the goal for my month, this is the goal for this year, and go ahead and execute it and fulfill that promise. So then if you cannot influence yourself to do that at a personal level, then you will not be able to influence others. You will not be, you might be able to tell them what to do, but you are telling them you are telling them to do something that you yourself cannot do, or you yourself are unwilling to do. And that is not how it really works. That's why we have a lot of people who call themselves leaders. They are simply in position of authority. They simply have titles and positions. They are not really leaders. Maybe they might be managers like I used to be at first, but you are not a leader. So the first thing is get to lead yourself. Get to influence yourself. Tell yourself, this is my goal, this is what I want to do. Then get up and do it, and do that consistently for 1 day, for 1 week, for 1 month, for 1 year, for 10 years. And then suddenly you see you become a model to follow, and others can look at you and then can emulate the example that you are.
Thank you, sir. And mentorship and coaching is an inevitable part of leadership. That there is no way you can lead without mentoring and coaching other people, probably that you are leading. What is the role of mentorship and coaching when it comes to leadership?
I mean, mentorship and coaching is everything. You see, it was Aristotle who said that if you cannot be a good follower, you cannot be a good leader. So what that means is that to be a good leader, the prerequisite for a good leader is a good follower. But how can you follow if you have never been mentored, if you have never had a mentor, if you never had somebody going ahead of you, showing you the way, if you've never had somebody going ahead of you, modeling for you what leadership is all about? John C. Maxwell says that it is difficult to make progress when all the example that you have is you.
Wow.
It's difficult to make progress when all the example that you have is you. So you have to have role models in your life. In fact, mentors and mentorship accelerate. It accelerates growth and leadership ability. It exponentially, I would say, because I think that my personal story, is told by mentors that have impacted me in significant ways. And I am a product of mentors. I'm a product of someone who stood on the shoulders of others throughout my life to come to where I am. So the roles of mentors, coaches cannot be overemphasized. Every major progress in my life can be traced to a coach, can be traced to a mentor who told me something, who enlarged my understanding about something, and who encouraged me to become part of something that was bigger and better than me, that was maybe huger than me. And then in attempting to do that, or in attempting to follow them, or in attempting to emulate their example, I suddenly became what I was wishing to become. Yes.
That's really amazing. Somebody says that when you are being mentored, you reduce 50% of the mistakes that you're probably going to make in your future. And by that, you are going to have like 50% increase of succeeding with the knowledge and the experiences your mentor is able to share to you through the mentorship. And I really think it's true. Like looking at your life, Dr. Madison, I can say you're a product of John C. Maxwell mentorship. And you did not just keep it for yourself. You're mentoring a lot of people around the world, from United States to Africa and Asia and Europe. And I'm so privileged to be one of such people that you actually mentoring. So, what are the three key things that I think you don't mentor everybody? Maybe there's some particular conditions and criteria you actually look into before you can actually dedicate your time to mentor people. What are the things you want to see in your mentees? Maybe many of them will be watching now and they will want to watch in the future, and they want to know, what does it take for you to mentor somebody? Are there some particular conditions you need to see, or some things the person need to be doing before you can say, okay, let's get into a mentorship relationship?
Yeah, sure. That's almost granted. Yeah.
Mhm.
Number one, they must be teachable.
Okay.
See, somebody that cannot be taught
Mm.
can never grow. So
Mm.
you will waste your time for somebody who cannot open themselves up for teaching.
Mm.
It has been said that the illiterate of the 21st century is not the one who is unable to read and write. It is
Mm.
the one who is unable to learn, to unlearn,
Mm.
and to relearn. So what that means is, if somebody is unable to learn,
Mm.
if they are unable to unlearn,
Yeah.
and they're able to relearn,
Mm.
then mentorship doesn't work, because the whole purpose of mentorship is that you can gain a baseline wisdom that can help you run your life, your organization, and all that you do in your life. So what that means is that, in order to really become that great leader, then you have to open yourself up to new ideas, fresh ideas, innovative ideas, and possibly trash the old ideas that did not used to work.
Mm.
So I believe that, number one, that person has to be teachable.
Mm.
Now, number two, the person has to be hungry. The person has to really desire mentorship. You know, because you've heard it said that you can take a horse to the stream,
Yeah.
but it's another thing to get the horse to drink the water, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why take a horse to the stream if the horse will not drink the water? So the person must be willing to give themselves wholly to that process, the process of mentorship. I read this story, in the golden book, the Bible,
Mm.
and somebody came to Jesus and said, I want to really follow you, like, I want you to mentor me, I want you to mentor me. And they said, but first let me go and bury my father. I said, no, you are not really ready for this.
Mm.
Because many people say, I want to be mentored,
Mm.
but really they are not willing to put to the commitment to what that means. They still have other things that they are prioritizing.
Yeah.
And so they cannot really be mentored in that way. So the second thing is that the people must be not just teachable, the people also have to desire, strongly desire, to be mentored. And I think the third thing is that they have to bring a return on mentorship.
Okay.
They have to be able to, I have to be sure that
Mm.
my time,
Mm.
my effort, my energy,
Mm.
my wisdom
Mm.
will be returned. In other words, if I give you a piece of advice,
Mm.
I expect you to act on that piece of advice.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's usually when somebody comes to me, and then, because the question is like, okay, if somebody comes to me and say, what, I want you to mentor me.
Yeah.
Usually what I do is I just ask you a simple question, or I ask you to do something.
Mm.
And then based on the, so provided I feel that you are teachable,
Yeah.
provided I feel that you really desire it,
Mm-hmm.
then now I want to see if you would act on what I'm going to give you.
Oh.
So I'm going to give you a little assignment. Maybe I may just ask you, in 2 weeks, can you do this and that and that?
Mm.
And then in 2 weeks, you are complaining and you are, giving excuses about it. I know that you are not ready. So I know I can help you.
Oh, that's so powerful. And that no doubt your mentees, they really rise in everything they do, and they have a lot. So and that just brings me to this question. I have one of your followers. He admires what you do a lot, and his name is Milton. He actually sent a question for you, and you're like, what advice can you give him? Milton, he's probably watching. He's from Africa, Cameroon. What advice can you give a young leader who is rising up on how to be effective in leading the people that he has been called to lead at a very challenging time like the one we're living right now?
Yes, I think that to lead people successfully
Mm-hmm.
comes back to my very foundation and my very thesis for leadership, which is that just lead you well.
Mm-hmm.
You see, because when you lead you well, you will notice the difficulty in leading you. You will notice that it's a difficult thing to believe in your own dreams. You will notice that it's a difficult thing to get up every day, work on your own goals and achieve them.
Yeah.
So when you stand up then to lead other people, you would use the experience, the difficulties, the challenges, the successes, the gains that you have had in your private life, and you'll be able to transfer that to others. Because understand that mentorship can be taught and mentorship can be caught.
Oh.
So what that means is that, if it is mentorship is more than just telling people something. Mentorship is a spirit that is imparted when people interact with you. So if you have never walked the walk, if you have never gone the way, then it is difficult to show the way, because that spirit, that you don't have the spirit, first of all, that spirit. So it cannot be transferred to the people that follow you. So it's important that we know that. So all what he needs to do is walk the talk, walk the walk. Once you do that, you will notice, because you will simply share the story of how you have done it in your life, and it will inspire people.
Yeah.
It will inspire people.
Yeah.
So, for instance, when I tell people my story, I came to the United States with $600 to my name, 13th of January 2007.
Wow.
But when you see where I am today and where what I have achieved today, I have a little more than $600. So, but when you have led yourself to that place from $600, to more than $600, then you can tell the story how it happened, and it can inspire someone to get up and to do it too, because they can believe your story and they can get the faith that they too can do it. So just lead yourself well, and then transfer that story and transfer that spirit and transfer those teachings to the people then that are following you.
That's amazing. So this is so beautiful, and you there's the aspect of integrity in leadership, and at the same time in mentorship. um I remember you always emphasize the importance of following your words through. Now the question is this, sir. What do you have to say to people that they were well brought up, they have good values, great integrity, but they are working in an environment, an office space, where the people there don't have integrity. Even their own leaders, they don't have integrity, and they feel like I am too insignificant. That kind of imposter syndrome. I'm too insignificant to change all of this system because it's kind of already corrupted, and like everybody is going south, so I can't be the only person going north. So maybe the way out could be fitting in to just make sure you flow in the system. What advice would you give somebody who is going battling through? Should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I step in? Should I not step in? Should I compromise? Should I not compromise? Please.
So, I mean, when you work in an environment that is anti your core values, it is obvious that you are going to feel challenged. It's obvious that you are going to feel some pain because they don't share your values. But also I have learned that if you have to stay within, if you must stay within that organization, then you must also learn how to shine your light. The Bible says, let your light so shine before men that they will see your good works. So sometimes we have to challenge ourselves to be the person that brings about the change. It is not all of the time that we will be in a place where everybody likes the values that we like, or shares the values that we share. So when you find yourself in a place where the people don't share your values, maybe that's an opportunity for you right there to show them something different. But here's the key: you will not show them something different, and they will not learn from you if you are not excellent. That's why the spirit of excellence is good, because when you do things and do them well, they will not look at it like you're complaining. They know that this person does their job very well. This person does their work excellently. So when you say, no, I can't do this, or I can't be part of this because this is how high my value system is, then they can understand you. Then they can think about doing something different from what they have done before. But I believe in being the light. So don't try to fit in. Stand out.
Oh, I love that. Don't try to fit in and stand out. Then let me take a little bit. So in that context, being the light of the world and shining your light, and some people who are struggling to build their faith of really being the light. We have a lot of people that have bills to pay, they have children to send to school, they have food to buy to provide to their families, and they find themselves in such environment and are like, okay, they might not have enough faith to be like, okay, let me do what is right. They're thinking about how will my family survive. I mean, like, some people little faith, but they have integrity. What do you have to tell them, please?
When you decide to take the high road is also the road less traveled. So when you take the high road, you can be sure that things are not going to go. You can be sure that there will be some temporary suffering. You can be sure that there will be temporary opposition. But as you stick to that road, what happens is that you begin to see that life begins to get better. But you must be willing to stick out your life and literally put your neck on the guillotine before things really change. So don't expect things to just change like that. I mean, I know there have been times in my life that my values collided with the values of my family. And there were times that my family said, you know what, maybe we're not going to take care of you because you don't care, we don't share the same values. But you must be willing to take that on. Those are the losses, the temporary losses that we incur in our lives, in our struggle to be integral. But in the long run, it turns out for our good. And then people are able to know where we stand. Somebody must arise to be a Joseph in the house of Potiphar. Somebody must arise to be a Joseph in the land of Egypt. So, you're going to pay it with a price. The price might even be the price Joseph paid was imprisonment.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to go through imprisonment, and then so that you can get to the palace. Sometimes you have to go through the pit, then to the prison, and then to the palace. But all of those different what are letdowns, or what we would see like letdowns, might just be a setup, for a comeback. You never know.
Oh, that's really impressive. And so we have this young leader who also admires you. So he asked a question to you, and he's currently watching live. John Noel. John Noel is an amazing upcoming leader. So the question he asked you was this: what advice would you give a young leader like growing up leading a team, and he wants the team to succeed, and at times he has difficulties, people understanding emotional intelligence issues. He has a great vision for the team, but at times people don't get it to align to the values, and so we can all achieve. What are the strategies and the tactics you can actually give somebody like him growing up in his leadership and leading a team so far to get goals achieved on time?
Welcome to leadership.
Leadership
You know,
101.
so that's what all of us face. I mean, till today, I still face challenges in leading my own group of people that I lead. But remember what we said in the beginning from Robin Sharma, the wisdom from Robin Sharma.
Yeah.
A leader is one who knows the way, who shows the way, and who goes the way. In other words, when you want your leaders to do what you want them to do, number one, you must first of all know the way. So, do you really know what you are doing? All right. So, if you already know what you are doing, then you need to show them what you are doing. In other words, sometimes you might need to teach them. But that's part of showing. Part of showing means, okay, guys, this is what we need to do. This is how we do it. So we need to show them the way. But sometimes you can know and show, and the people will not still follow. That's why you need to go the way. So they see an example. They see that you are not just talking the talk, but you are walking the talk. Then it makes a difference, because then you are not just the one who is telling others to do as I say, not as I do. But they see that you are saying, do it like I do it. Paul said, be a follower of me as I follow the Christ. So you and me can only let other people follow us to the extent we have also followed. So I would say that when you find that that people are not really submitting to your leadership, then most of the times it might be that you are missing one aspect. It's either you don't know the way, or it's either you are not showing the way, or it's either you are not going the way. But when you do these three, and you do it long enough for people to really be convinced, they generally tend to follow. At least your crowd or your tribe will follow you.
I love that. Okay, I think he's saying powerful. That's great. So, sir, you run a mentorship program, and you've mentored a lot of people around the world: celebrities, football stars, politicians, great leaders, and middle level to high level managers, founders, CEOs, entrepreneurs from all around the world. And we're talking about in that, hundreds and getting to thousands. And you've spoken to thousands of people around the world from different countries. You just came back from Germany, South Africa, where you were in the tour, training leaders in these countries and these continents. So, what are the things you want your mentees, when they graduate from your mentorship program, should actually do in the world?
Well, I want them to do what they were called to do. I'm not mentoring them to do what I'm doing. They have their own call. They have their purpose for life. They have their mission for life. They have their vision for their lives. I just want them to walk in their vision. All what a mentor does is come alongside you and give you wisdom, give you a baseline of wisdom so that you can run the purpose or the dream or the vision or the mission that you have been called to run. So what I expect from them is fulfill your dream. Fulfill your dream. I want that at the end of your life and at the end of my life, I'll be able to say like Jesus, he says, it is finished. I have done all that I could have done. I want to be able to be like Paul that says, I have fought a good fight. I have kept the faith. I have finished my race. I've finished my race. So I want them to be able to be in that place where they say, well, you know what? I have finished my course. You know what? I have achieved that which I set myself to do. I have met my dreams, and now I'm living them. I'm waiting for just my reward, for my crown, for doing all the things that I did. So my thing would be, I train them so that they can fulfill that dream that they have for their lives. That's why in my mentorship program, the first thing that I ask people to do when they decide to join the mentorship is write down your goals.
Oh.
And I teach them how to write goals
Oh.
because I want them, because the success in mentorship is not them doing what I want them to do.
Yeah.
Success in mentorship is them doing what they were called to do.
Yeah, I remember that so well. Did that. So you've also written a book that is the best-selling book right now, translated in 3 languages and still counting. Like The Day Before Tomorrow, How to Make Today Count. That is a powerful leadership book that a lot of people are using for master classes, masterminds, and sooner or later university is going to be using for lectures. So the question I want to ask, based on the book, what do you expect anybody to get after reading this book? What's the message behind this book?
So this book is probably the biggest and the greatest lesson that I've learned in my own leadership walk,
Okay.
which is that today is your best day.
Mm.
See, your best day is not your birthday.
Mm.
Your best day is not your wedding day.
Mm.
Your best day is not Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Your best day is today.
Mm.
Because in today, you have the power to cancel a whole lot of yesterday.
Oh.
And in today, you have the power to create a new tomorrow.
Mm.
Somebody put it aptly this way. Yesterday is history.
Mm.
Tomorrow is a mystery.
Mm.
Today is a gift. That is why we call it the present. So live in the present. Embrace the present. This book was written to encourage us not to say, someday I am going to be a medical doctor. Someday I am going to do great things around the world. Someday I'm going to... No. It was meant to bring people from someday aisle, from Sunday street, and bring them to today's street. So today is the only day that is guaranteed for you and me. Any other day is not. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Yesterday is already gone. We can do nothing about it. We need to make the choice to live in today. Don't live in yesterday. It's already gone. Nobody can live in the yesterday. Don't keep crying over spilled milk. It is gone. Don't live in tomorrow. Nobody can live in tomorrow. Tomorrow has not yet come. In fact, nobody knows whether they are even going to be there tomorrow. Today is the only day that you have. By the way, is that not what the scriptures say? It says, today is the day of salvation. It says, today, if you hear the word of the Lord, do not harden your heart. It's always about today. It's not about tomorrow. He said, in fact, we are told not to boast about tomorrow, because nobody knows what tomorrow holds. So let us use the day of today. So this book was really written to cancel procrastination from our lives. And in fact, one of the greatest reviews that I've had throughout the time from the publishing of the book till now has been that it has helped many people to stop procrastination in their lives. And in the book, I define procrastination according to Bishop O'Neill, who says that procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God owes you another chance to do tomorrow what he gave you the opportunity to do today. Arrogant assumption that God owes you another chance to do tomorrow what he gave you the opportunity to do today. So in other words, when you don't live in today, what you are saying is, Lord, I know tomorrow is guaranteed. I have to live again tomorrow, so that if I decide to do that, I can do it. If I decide to do the day after, I can do that. But who knows tomorrow?
Only God knows tomorrow. So, sir, right now, Doc, I would love to talk to a 22 years old who is going to be listening to this podcast by 2035. That's literally talking to your 22 years old, or to any 22 or 21-year-old watching right now. What is that prophecy? What is that word of hope, that word of encouragement you want to give that young man who's going to be watching this podcast, this video in 2035? And someone could be watching this right now already at 22, and that is a good fit. What is that word that you want to give those watching us, word of hope and encouragement to those who are that craving and yearning for good leaders to lead them, to guide them, but unfortunately they might not have that opportunity to get one?
So First of all, I would say that we live in an information age.
Mm,
In fact, we have more information today than we know what to do with. So there's no
exactly.
excuse any longer for the
Mm,
fact to say that I don't have a role model, I don't have a mentor. There's no excuse. Such an excuse doesn't work today.
mm,
Why? Because every imaginable mentor
mm,
that you can think about, they have a book out there.
mm,
They have a YouTube channel. They have a website
mm,
somewhere. They have a blog somewhere. They have a vlog somewhere that you can use to get your baseline of wisdom
mm,
and run your life. So everything that you need is already, in fact, it's either on YouTube, it's either on Chat GPT, it's
mm-hmm.
everywhere. AI is everywhere.
Absolutely.
So what that means is that you can't say that I don't have somebody.
Mm-hmm.
No, you have somebody. It might not be physical.
Yeah.
The person might not be there with you in place in your village or in
Mm-hmm.
your town, but they can be somewhere else. I remember I read Dr. Miles Monroe.
Mm,
I watched his tapes long, 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 long before
mm,
I ever got any close, to physically to where he might be.
mm,
And I remember finally when he passed away,
mm,
years ago, I felt like I would have loved to have met him in person,
mm,
but and so there is no excuse. If you really want to grow, if you really want to do something about your leadership, you can start today.
mm.
Generally, there's always somebody by your side that can
Yeah.
help you. So always look around you. Not everybody is a bad person. Not everybody is going the wrong direction. When you look, you will see people that are already where you desire to be.
Mm-hmm.
Then bring those people intentionally into your life. Ask them for help.
Mm-hmm.
Ask them for mentorship. And then and then as you are doing that, in addition to that, or even if you lack that,
Mm-hmm.
again, you can go on YouTube, you can go read books, and
Mm-hmm.
you can be mentored through people's literature. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, again, I never met Miles Monroe in my whole life,
Mm.
but his life has influenced mine in significant ways. And that's what I was saying.
I love that. I remember some 2 years ago, I saw you took a picture with the daughter in Lisa Nichols' Los Angeles event, and I saw her. You told her that your father was my great mentor, and that was so powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we wrapped up this conversation, which I want to put this one, um, self leadership with Dr. Madison 101, because we definitely have to do 102, right? Because a lot of people are expecting more from you. And we also respect your time so much that we don't want to take much of your time. So, as we wrapped up this conversation, sir, I mean, today is Sunday, and some people might not have the latitude to have gone to church or still to go to church. Maybe as somebody of in the ministry space who has been preaching in conferences all around the world, what do you have to tell your people right now, children of God around the world, and even those who want to become Christian, as today is Sunday, and we cannot let you go with that inspiring with the scripture, with the word from the Bible, because I know you've always done that before to us.
So, one of the things that's been on my heart for quite a time now is just this two verses of scripture,
Mm,
right? You are the light of the world. Now that's Matthew 5, verse 15 and 16.
mm,
You are the light of the world, a city built on a hill that cannot be hidden. It says, men do not light a lamp to put it under a bushel, to put it on a lampstand so that it
mm,
shines light to the entire world.
mm,
It also says, verse 16, so let your light so shine before men that they might see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven.
mm,
So my encouragement is you have impact inside of you. You have influence inside of you. You have power inside of you. You have an anointing inside of you. If you will arise if you will shine, then people will begin to be affected by your light. Then the Bible says, Gentiles shall come to your light and kings to the brightness of your rising. So arise and shine, for your light has come, and the glory of God is risen upon you. Bible says, darkness shall be upon the earth, gross darkness upon the people, but I will arise upon you, and my glory shall be seen upon you. These are the last days when God is releasing his power and his spirit upon everyone that is open and willing. He says, in the last days, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. He says, your sons and daughters will prophesy. He says, your young men shall see visions. Your old men shall dream dreams. These are those days. So there's no time to fold your hands and say, I don't have anything to do. No, arise, shine. If you need to read a book to help you shine, read it. If you need to study the Bible, study it. If you need to connect with someone who can help you, connect with them. Whatever it takes, do whatever it takes, so that you can unveil the light of God that is in you. Each one of us is a reflection of the glory of God upon our lives. Each one of us is anointed with a special light that God put in us. The Bible says that God is the one who lights up every man that comes upon the earth. So you have the light of God in you. It's your responsibility to unleash that light, so that as the world sees your good works, they can say, wow, look at how God has been good because of you. So arise and shine.
Wonderful. Arise and shine, friend. And so, Dr. Madison, honestly, I want to say thank you for dedicating time, for creating time, even in the midst of very short notice. I know you have the heart for the people. That's why in just a short notice, you were able to at least create some time out of your very busy schedule for us to have this conversation, sir. And honestly, I do not really want to see this as the Camerican podcast, because our crew will book again time on your calendar and come here as a team for a full production. Guys, this was a teaser. Did you hear that? This was a teaser. And we wanted to introduce the whole package too, because we are coming back for a bigger, bigger experience podcast. And so I want to say thank you for all you have done to me and to all the leaders you're coaching around the world. I always feel privileged, and I don't only see you as a mentor, I see you as a father that I look up to, and I learn from your values, I learn from your discipline. And anytime I'm feeling like I could mess up here, I'm like, what if I mess up? How will you see me? All the investments, how would that look like? I'm like, God help me not to disappoint my mentor. And again, that's the same thing that's happening to the people I am inspiring them in different parts of the world. And it's because you did it. It's because you listened to me. It's because you gave me a call. It's because you encouraged me. And for all of that, I just want to say thank you so much, Mentor Ngafeeson Madison. It's such an honor to ever know you, and it's thank you for accepting me into your life, into your family, and it's such a privilege. I don't want to take it for granted, and I just pray God help me to just give it the best shot ever.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to also have you in my life. Um, you know, I have been helped by other people. I grew because other people accepted me into their lives. They took me in when I was a nobody, and so it's a joy to pay forward. It's a joy to be able to do what I do with all of the people that I mentor around the world. It's always a joy for me, because it's about, there's a joy that you only get from giving up yourself for another person. You will never get that joy from receiving. There's a joy of receiving, but there's a joy to give. And in fact, the Bible says it's more blessed to give than to receive. So if you want to really get the full enchilada of blessings, it is begin to give. And mentorship and coaching gives me the opportunity to be able to give. And that's why I'm a joyful man. I'm a grateful man. Nobody owes me anything, and I am grateful.
Amen. I love that. And just to show that a lot of young people are looking up to you. All the people that ask me questions to ask you, they have come. Milton is there, and John Noel is there, and many of them, right? They came and watched and they said, "Thank you for answering their questions." It tells the high demand and the high anticipation. And guys, I don't really want to call this a podcast. I want to just see it as a father and son conversation that the camera was on. Get ready for the re-podcast because it is coming not long from now. After I've talked with Doc, I will get back to you guys and really announce it like 2 weeks before the production so that the crew can come in, fly in back to Florida. So we do a full production Camerican Dream Podcast. And you don't want to wait for that. Get ready because the announcement will come up soon. And so much, thank you so much, sir, for doing this. Like it was unexpected, but you were able to grant us some minutes for this, and we are grateful. And I believe it was a blessing to you who listened to it. If this inspires you, share with somebody. If this inspires you, write what actually stood out for you in this conversation I had with the legendary and the one and only Dr. Madison Ngafeeson. So, guys, over to you, sir. You have the last word?
No, yeah, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yes, sir.
And please, this is a great man here. Follow him, support him, whatever you can do for him, it will come back to you. He is doing a great work here. Left homeland, came to this country, and is doing everything to build others, to challenge others to be better than themselves, to help them with their public speaking, to help them be able to represent themselves and the vision that has been given to them. So this is the man. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, sir. And so I just want to say this as we close the curtains of this conversation. How can people get you to get a copy of our book, The Day Before Tomorrow, Making Today Count, and to enroll for the mentorship program? How do people contact you, please?
Okay, so maybe hopefully we can get to do this even in a better way. I can give you a number that that they can reach out to.
Awesome.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. So, by the way, if you ever want to get to me for any, whether it's mentorship, whether it's training for those, especially for those in Cameroon, the number is 673 58 1635. So 673 58 1635. That is Confidence, and she is my administrative assistant.
Awesome.
For books, for everything, mentoring, she is the one to contact.
Beautiful. Hey guys, make sure you contact her for the right reason, right? Don't call her if you don't want mentorship, you don't want to grab a copy of the book, all right? Because that is what integrity means, as we've discussed in the conversation. And that was it for our father and son's conversation. Don't call it a podcast yet because the real podcast is coming. So, guys, wish you a happy Sunday. God bless you, and go and shine like our mentor, Father Dr. Madison have said. Go and shine because the time has come for your light to shine. Therefore, go and shine. And happy Sunday to you and your loved ones.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.